Welcome to Impact Effect Podcast. We've got another amazing guest, and this gentleman, Zach Day, is a very unique character. Okay, he's got his hands in a lot of different things. He's the owner of Podcast House. He had some special appearances on some things a couple years ago, and he's making a positive impact in the world today in so many different ways. Please help me welcome Zach Day.
Dude, thanks for having me on, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
So excited.
I'm fired up,
yeah,
dude.
bro. Let's go.
It's going to be a good conversation. We're going to get into all of it. First and foremost, we asked every single guest the same question. How do you define impact? And how do you show up in the world and provide positive impact today?
Yeah, I feel like I give a pretty logical answer. I think impact is the way that you influence, persuade, and affect people. How do I impact people? I like to get to know the deepest part of someone. I really like to dive into people's souls and just really find out what their dream is, what inspires them. And then I'm also a filmmaker, so I help people share their stories and their voice to the world. And I also do pretty insane physical things. So I feel like I inspire people that way. And then the last thing I would say is I'm a vessel and a light for God.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go, man. We're going to dive into all of it today, brother. All of it.
Yeah.
Filmmaker. Let's start there. Tell me a little bit about how you create positive impact. You said getting deep with people. How does that come up in your work and how you create and position them?
Yeah, I think I've been doing podcasting and filmmaking for about the same amount of time. And I kind of combine my interview skills with my filmmaking. So I like to sit people down and ask them super deep questions. And then I'm taking B-roll and I take that interview and I put it together to form a story. Ooh. That's my mojo right there. And I create mini documentaries, brand stories. I'd like to create a 3-minute video on your life story, your movie trailer on your life kind of thing. So that's my bread and butter. I film a lot of events. I've filmed Tony Robbins before. One of my favorite videos I've ever done is called Operation Rescue Children. And they actually go out and they help save the children that are getting sex trafficked.
Wow.
And yeah, so just super deep stuff. I like to help people make their impact.
You got to give them the opportunity to show up their best self almost. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you pull that out of them.
I have to pull that out of them. Yeah. Ask them super deep questions probably you're going to do to me.
Yeah. When you were interviewing me at Daryl Stinson's event, one of the things that I noticed was how great of questions you asked. Right? There was no preparation. We didn't plan it. You had a setup. I dropped in the seat and you kept asking these questions. Why is it so important to go deep with people?
I don't think people can really relate to surface level conversations. I don't know about you or your listeners, but when I first show up to something and we're just building rapport, I'm not very good at that. But as soon as we get deep, I'm all in, I'm engaged, I'm curious, I'm authentically curious. So I think that's the only way that you can truly touch people is to get deep with them.
That curiosity comes up. How do you navigate kind of staying curious and you said authentic as well?
Sometimes I do have to fake it if I'm actually not curious. If this person's boring, I do have to fake it. But normally I don't have to because normally I'm sitting down with people like you. And I think it's one of my gifts, bro. I think it's a God-given gift that God has given me.
It's almost like not asking just questions to ask them, but the right questions, the right timing, understanding the environment, the context.
Yeah, sometimes, dude, I literally, I'll get in a flow where I literally feel led. And if I'm doing it correctly, I'm listening to you and I'm not thinking about the next question. And as soon as you stop talking, it literally just naturally flows out of me. But it takes reps to do that.
I was going to say, to drop in, right? Really...
at this point, I've probably interviewed over 100 people at all the events that I go to and then the podcast itself. And then I would say, when I get in the Uber, I'm asking the Uber deep questions. So it's just part of who I am.
It's that repetition and that consistency. Mm-hmm. And I think as you continue to navigate it and do it over and over, man, it becomes natural.
Exactly.
Yeah. For the person that's not natural for, any advice if they're listening to this and they're like, man, Zach's just a stud, I'm struggling to figure out how to stay curious or what to say or when to say it. Any advice because I mean, we're not perfect, right?
Yeah.
We may get a lot of the reps in, but there's
Yeah.
probably times, like you said, you got to fake it, and
Sure.
are we going to
Yeah.
get there?
Right.
What advice do you have for them?
So I'll go back to like high school. I had like severe social anxiety. Like I barely talked. I had like some friends and like people would be like, yo, does he talk? Like I get exactly where they're coming from, and I kind of had to like work out of that through getting really uncomfortable. But I think some things that you can do is you can literally write like a list of questions down and just like start asking people questions and having fun with it. And then you'll naturally kind of just flow into the next question, because when you ask that question, it'll open up a door to ask the next question. So I kind of like look at it as like a visualization, like, yo, I'm going to open up a door to like that section of someone's life. And then that door will lead to other doors. So you can do that. And I would also say listening to podcasts is huge. You can listen to see how Joe Rogan interviews, how Chris Willicks interviews, George Janko, whatever. Any podcast that you like, you can try to emulate that person and ask the same questions they do.
It's funny, there's a million questions in the world, and we
Yeah.
live in an AI-driven world, right? Where you
Yeah.
can literally ask ChatGPT, what do I ask in this scenario? What do I say? But you said something important. You're not just asking the questions, you're listening first, and then those questions are flowing.
Yeah.
I think it takes the repetitiveness, and you have to outline like, what questions am I going to ask?
Yeah.
But almost to your point, it's like once you practice that and you have a set of questions, you're not, if they ask this, I'm going to ask this, or they said pizza, so I'm going to ask this question, or they said pasta, I'm going to ask this question. It has to come natural.
For sure.
When you're asking those questions and it feels natural, can you describe that situation or that scenario? Is that something where you're behind the mic? Is that something where it doesn't matter where you are? Is it a headspace that you have to be in? Is it just you've practiced so much?
Yeah.
Like, how did you get there? Because for anybody listening, he's damn good at this, okay? Like, I've been interviewed a lot. And when we dove in, like, I could feel the energy. You cared. It wasn't scripted. You weren't looking at a piece of paper saying,
I literally didn't write any questions ahead of time. Yeah.
What questions do I ask Jim? Like, that wasn't even, and I think it was on a whim. Like, we didn't even plan on it.
On a whim, yeah. But when I first started, I did write questions out. So I think it's okay to start with a framework and then you build the reps up. And then eventually you look less and less at the questions and it becomes more natural and you get more curious and you get more authentic. So, I mean, all the answers with everything is always in training. It's just that simple. Like, there's no other way to do it. If you want to get bigger at the gym, you have to train. If you want to get better at anything, it's all in training. You can't think your way there. You have to train your way there.
You can't think your way there. You have to train your way there. Man,
simple.
Goosebump moment right there. It's so direct, concise, clear, and true.
Yeah.
Like, and talent can only get you to a certain level before you need the reps, before you need the situational awareness, before you need that situation to go completely wrong.
Right.
And you're like, I've been here before and this is what I did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to screw it up many, many times. You have to fail over and over again to get there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Talking about training, you've done some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Health-wise, race-wise. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience in your life?
Yeah, so I grew up and like always was a super active kid. Like you just couldn't sit me still. I don't know if I have like ADHD or something like that, but I was always like trying to like race my dad. As soon as I could walk, I had a baseball glove. So like baseball was my thing growing up. Like I literally wanted to be a New York Yankee. Like I saw Derek Jeter. He was like my biggest role model when I was growing up. Like I wanted to like take Jeter's spot. So it was baseball, Yankees. Like that was like my whole like childhood. And then, so I played my entire, like, 5 years old to all the way up to high school. And for some reason, when I got to high school, like, I just had a lot of, like, anxiety, depression, just, like, awkwardness. And for some reason, I actually dropped baseball, like, completely.
Wow.
So that was a time in my life where, like, I was really struggling with, like, my identity. Who am I? And then that summer, my freshman year summer, I was like, I want to, like, try something new. So I was watching the show American Ninja Warrior on TV. My mom showed me it like when I was like 9 years old. And I thought those guys were like insane. I'm like, I always want to do that, but there's no way I can do that. But I started doing like flips on the trampoline, climbing trees, rock climbing. And one day, me and my grandfather and my dad, we built a salmon ladder in my backyard, which is you take a bar and you hop it up rungs. And I nailed it first try. And I was like super surprised I could do that. I thought it was like an impossible thing. ended up being really good at it, started going to competitions. Remember, like one of the first competitions I went to, like all the main guys on the show were there, and I was literally like the best kid. Like I was actually better than most of the guys, and I surprised myself. I remember me and my dad got in the car, and he's like, dude, like you're actually like really good at this. Like you could actually be professional at this like right now. And then I started, traveling the country, winning competitions. And then when I was 19, they changed the age limit from 21 to 19. So I was like, I'm gonna get my shot to compete. Like the guys in the show already knew who I was because I used to test the course. Because when you're 18, you can test the course.
Cool.
So I got my shot that year. But right before I got the call to be on American Ninja Warrior, my dad actually died. Like literally 3 weeks beforehand.
Wow.
So I literally got the call for American Ninja Warrior at my dad's funeral. So I was, obviously going through it, like really depressed, like you lose all the energy. I remember when I was like running around the block, like I could barely run around the block, that's how like dead I was,
Yeah.
But I ended up, went on the show that year. It was like a dream come true. So like all this was happening, like dad dies, get the call for American Ninja Warrior. Next thing you know, I'm on NBC live television. Oh, actually it wasn't live, but like,
yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know what American Ninja Warrior is. For the people that don't know, it's the hardest obstacle course in the world. And it's on NBC. It's kind of like an America's Got Talent show, but it's an obstacle course. Ended up competing on that. I got through the first qualifier in Philadelphia. So they do 5 qualifier courses. And then the finals are in Vegas. The top 100 athletes go to Vegas. So I got through the qualifiers. Then there's a second qualifier. I got through that. I was number 9 in my region. Got to Las Vegas. And then, went all the way to Vegas, got top 10 on the show. My stage 1 run was like my best run ever. It was like, I was the youngest ever competitor at the time to make it to Las Vegas.
Wow.
And I remember I was going through it was called stage 1. So there's 4 stages. And it was like really hard. I watched some of my like idols at the time, I guess you could say. There wasn't that many completions. I remember it was like 5 seconds left. I'm climbing up this like cargo net and like I barely make it to the end of the course and I just slammed the buzzer. And at the time I was wearing a 4BD on the back of my shirt, which is for my dad, for Brian Day. And I remember I slammed the buzzer and like looking out at the whole audience and like pointing to the back of my shirt and just got to dedicate that run to him.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. It was probably like the proudest moment of my life. Cause like I didn't just do that, like we did that.
Yeah.
Like he was like my biggest supporter. Brought me to all the competitions when I couldn't even drive. So
yeah, man. Yeah. What a story, dude. What a story, brother.
Yeah.
Going through all that, pushing yourself, the practice, the reps, like what is the biggest lesson you learned through all that? Because that's not just some like normal shit you do. You don't just like, I'm going to do this, Ninja Warrior, I'm going to get to Vegas, I'm going to be top 10. Like,
yeah, I mean, dude, at that time I was so addicted to it. Like you literally couldn't stop me from doing it. So I think when the passion's there, I think that's the number one thing. Like you got to go out, go for what you're passionate about. Like what is your dream and go for it. And if you're not going for that, something in your soul is not going to feel right. So I would say, go for your dream, go for your passion and go all in on it. Don't live in that gray area. Go all in or all out.
All in, all out, baby. Yeah. That timing too, like you're saying, follow that passion. That was important for you to navigate it in that time. The rules changing, the life situations.
Yeah.
Wow. You could have quit, man. You could have not did it.
Yeah. I think one of the things was like after I completed that course, I'm like, I can respond to pressure. Like you can throw me in all the pressure and I know I can come out on top.
It's almost like it's hard to find hope in a lot of things or have faith that you can accomplish things until you go through something extremely difficult and realize that you can survive.
Exactly.
If not excel.
Yeah. And like when you're about to go up on that course, I mean, like it's NBC television, like there's lights, there's probably over 100 cameras. Sometimes there's fire shooting out. You're going over water. Some of the obstacles are really dangerous. Like it's like 20 feet up. Like you can absolutely get hurt. I mean, there's broken bones on the show all the time. So like all this is going through your head and then you got to go perform in front of millions of people. So like the adrenaline rush, like your heart's pounding and like my tongue's dried up before I even start. Yeah.
How do you work through that? Like, do you have like an anchor you do? Is that like a mental internal conversation? Is that prayer? Is that you thinking of your dad? Like, what do you do right before you hit that stage, man?
Yeah, all the above, man. I think during like the warm-up process, I think you lose faith like many, many times, but you just can't give into that. You can't give your pain and your anxiety a voice. Like you have to just, I don't know about like push it down, but you have to let your faith outweigh your fear, you know? But like, how do you do it? You just do it. Like you just go for it. You step up and you take the call and you go.
When you got that call to go on the show,
Mm-hmm.
that you were selected, you're in a tough situation emotionally.
Yeah.
Your balance is probably out of equilibrium, right?
Yeah.
Like you just had something tragic happen to you. And I've lost my dad, so I know how tragic it is.
Yeah.
I know the gut-wrenching punch that it feels.
Mm.
And then something that you've been pushing for, training for, wanting shows up in your life.
Mm.
What did that feel like? Was that like I have to do this, or maybe I shouldn't do this? Like, did you have conflict around it? Were you thinking maybe now's not the right time? Maybe I should do it later? Like, bring us back to kind of what was going on in your brain.
Yeah, like when I did get the call, like I immediately just broke down.
Yeah.
When it's crazy because like I did the eulogy, I think it's called, like
Mm-hmm.
like the speech I did for my dad, and like I literally said I was gonna go on the show, and then 20 minutes later I got the call. Yeah.
What?
In front of everybody. Like there was probably a couple hundred people, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna tell them to do it.
So you were on stage just to make the decision, let alone get on the stage, get on NBC, get on the show.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy moment. And it was really, really surreal because there was just so much going on. I was still in shock, depressed. It's really hard to explain that kind of time. But yeah, dealing with grief and trying to go for my dream at the same time.
You had said early on, you growing up, you were kind of shy and you had anxiety, depression, and obviously your dad passing, that's a tough period of time.
Yeah.
But the Zach that I met, I mean, you came right up to me. We were at a retreat. We had a great conversation. We started to talk about all different types of things.
Yeah.
I didn't experience any of that.
Mm.
What changed?
Yeah, I would say like after that show competing, I would say I went on a pretty downward spiral. I started smoking a lot of weed, drinking, partying, trying to mask all the pain. Didn't even know it. I was depressed, couldn't admit it. And then at my gym, I met a man named Joshua Gillow, and he sent me to a Tony Robbins seminar. That helped, but really it was more like his guidance and his mentorship. Like he kind of became a father figure. And then he introduced me to another event called Undisputed Mastery, where it's kind of like a Tony Robbins kind of event. It's like a transformative event where you get to deal with like your rage, your guilt, your shame. Where are you with God? Like they really dig deep into like your wounds, the arrows in your heart, so to speak. So I got to deal with all those things, including the passing of my father. And I don't think it's something that you just do one time. I think it's a consistent thing that you have to keep going into. And then that led me into even more like mentors in my life. And like another guy that I travel the world with his name's Gio. And he calls me out on my stuff all the time. And then another one is Ace. I used to live with him. Actually, he's the one who started the podcast house. I feel like God just sent me some father figures in my life that have been looking over me. And then, my family, my mom, my sister. I got 2 friends, Jake and Drew. We do like crazy things together, like I'm about to run a 100-mile ultra this fall with them. They hold me accountable. I just have a lot of brothers and mentors and father figures in my life that have just been huge supporters for me.
Building those relationships with people, do you think your knack to go deep with folks have allowed you to broker and build those relationships?
For sure. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. I think you have to be worth mentoring. You have to be, people have to actually want to be your friend. And when you go deep with someone and you get to know their soul and the deepest parts of them, it's just natural.
It's one person, one conversation, one piece of impact, one saying, one quote, one soundbite, like whatever, right? One book. You hear it all the time. But I think what's really unique is you didn't choose a podcast when I asked you. You didn't talk about ChatGPT helped me through this. You didn't talk about a quote. You said people, humans. Yeah. It was someone, not something. And I think that's so important because the impact that person had on you helped you in real time, real life situations where you could read a book 4 years ago and it's not even in your repertoire of memory.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Yeah.
But that person at the gym, in your case, that
Mhm.
became that father figure, that mentor, that cared, that loved,
Yeah.
that may have shared an experience similar,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Like, I wonder, did that gentleman lose his dad?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't share that experience, but he saw something in you where he wanted to pour in you.
Mhm.
He wanted to be a part of that.
Right.
And you guys aligned and built that human connection.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Relatable experiences, same visions, beliefs.
Mhm.
I think those things are just so important.
Yeah. Yeah. I would also say like those three individuals and more too, they led me to God. And God has totally transformed my life.
Okay, well, now
Yeah.
let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm so down.
Let's
Yeah.
get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make an assumption. So, what I was referencing is the human connection piece. The gentleman may not have lost his dad, but there was a level of belief that you both agreed on.
Yeah.
So, it's not an experience that you shared with him where you guys aligned,
Yeah.
but God, spiritual, universe,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
religion, that might have been the experience that you guys could both collaborate and discuss.
I would say we kind of found God together.
Wow.
It was kind
Wow.
of, it was a similar timing. He actually invited me to church one day, and I gave my life to Jesus, and just haven't looked back, man. Yeah, it's been pretty deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone.
What is your faith, if you don't mind me
So I believe in Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I believe in God.
asking? Yeah.
I am in a stage where I don't know enough about the details
Mhm.
to really say, hey, I believe this in this situation or this in this situation. I believe there's a higher power.
Yeah.
I've been sober from alcohol for coming up on 3 years.
Awesome.
It was a decision that just happened one day,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no one else to thank besides the man upstairs.
Yeah.
There's things in my life where I've needed wisdom, I've
Mhm.
needed information, I've needed a lifeline,
Mm-hmm.
and it's come to me in
Yeah.
the craziest, wildest
Mhm.
scenarios. There's been stuff in business, there's been stuff in personal life. I was about to give up on just family and marriage, and I sit here today with two little kids. You met them when you came
Amen,
here,
bro.
and
Amen.
you know, a boy and a girl,
Yeah.
and it really for me has been the distinction around, it's not so much like, do I believe this or I believe that? It's someone, something greater than us
Mhm.
is putting people in my life
100%.
to carry a message to
Yeah.
do or not to do certain things.
Exactly, bro.
So if Jim's this guy that's focused on human connection and everything's
Mhm.
about connecting with each other,
Mhm.
the first thing in my journey around that is I had to realize that you're not putting someone in my life or something,
Yeah.
like he is. And
Thank you,
that's the
bro.
connection.
Yeah. Mm.
So with my book, I say the most important relationship is the one with yourself.
Mhm.
And a lot of people who believe in God and Jesus and they're spiritual, they don't agree with that.
Mm.
But I've been on the side where when I had a bad relationship with myself,
Yeah.
I didn't believe.
Mhm.
Yes, that's the most important, but
Yeah.
I didn't have that relationship when I had a bad relationship with myself.
Yeah.
So when I had a good
I think they go
relationship
both
with
together.
myself,
Yeah.
then I can have a good relationship.
Exactly.
So for me, some people disagree, some people agree,
Yeah.
but that's my story.
Mm.
So I would say, yes, I believe in Jesus. Yes, I believe in God.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe that he sacrificed himself for the greater good of us. And
Yeah.
I believe all that.
Mm.
I think that in order for me to receive it, I have to believe it. And when
Right.
my relationship with myself wasn't good,
Mm.
I wasn't allowed to receive it and I wasn't allowed to believe it.
Exactly. Amen.
So I had to repair that relationship over some years and some time.
Same, man.
And I'm constantly doing that. And I
Yeah.
think we all are,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
With your journey, when did you start to believe, man? Like what happened? Did
Yeah,
something
I mean,
happen or?
Grew up going to church, but never knew God. Like it was just kind of like another thing that I did. I think it was like a Methodist church. I would say like the Holy Spirit really wasn't in there. And then we stopped going to church when I started playing like travel baseball, like totally. And then when I was 19, when my dad died, pretty much didn't really believe at all. I don't know if I was almost atheist or atheist, but I didn't, like Jesus wasn't in my life. I wasn't even consideration. And then I started actually listening to like a lot of podcasts and it kind of trained in listening to a lot of spiritual podcasts. But it wasn't Jesus yet. It was more like, I don't know if you heard the 7 spiritual laws of success, like the law of purpose, detachment, like those kinds of things. And I started getting into that, and then I even started getting into like astrology and crystals. I mean, I was smoking a lot of weed, like I said, and that was kind of like that was almost like a spiritual experience where like I would smoke this plant and get like a completely different perspective, and I'm like, what is that? Now I'm pretty sure it's probably demons, but not great. But I kind of like that. I was just trying to find the truth. And yeah, through the men that got put in my life, like I started to realize what the truth was. And like all these men that were at these events and helping transform people's lives, they gave all the credit to God. They're like, the glory is not mine. That's God's will. I'm just here to be a vessel. And so I saw that, and I just saw the power of the Holy Spirit. And then I started going to church. I would say I had a couple supernatural experiences that it's just like, there's no other way. That's God. Like one time I was just like laying on my couch, just like depressed. And somehow it was almost like monkey mind. I started going on my phone, and somehow I typed in a song. It was Home by Philip Phillips. And the chorus of the song is "You Are Not Alone." And when I heard those words, I got this crazy feeling, like goosebump feeling. And I'm like, like I'm not alone here. And then like a couple months later, I got like a wristband just like this one, and it said "You Are Not Alone." And it's crazy. I tried to throw that wristband away, and it reappeared. I was like, okay, there's definitely something else out there for sure. And yeah, I mean, as I go to church more and more and read the Bible and get more scripture in my head, like my morals and values are more aligned with God's values. And I realize like my thoughts are not my thoughts, and like my thoughts are going to deceive me. They're evil. But when I can tap into God's thoughts, that's where like all the good stuff is. That's where love, peace, gentleness, self-control, that's where all those things are.
It's almost like you're operating on a level that, because you're not tapped into it 24/7, 365, it seems supernatural.
Yeah.
Right? And not like, I'm going to turn into Hulk and turn green in an hour. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But do you feel like that energy, or I don't know how to describe it. It's like you feel it in you almost.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, God has sent me dreams and visions before. When you receive the Holy Spirit, so like when Jesus died and rose again, he left the Holy Spirit for us. And he says, you will cast out demons, you will speak in new tongues, you'll lay your hands on the sick and they'll recover, all these things. So like that power lives inside the believer. And that's crazy, right? Like that's supernatural. That's not of this world, but like that stuff does happen. I've seen it happen before.
Yeah.
Sometimes God will give me like wisdom and knowledge, but like I said, like we were talking about before with like the interviews, like sometimes I feel like I'm just like taken over and I'm just a vessel. And like that's where I feel like the Holy Spirit really works through me.
Yeah, I know that experience. I know that feeling. I know that, and it's undescribable, and it's not like endorphins. So like I can understand like, all right, I'm happy, things are working. I had a plan, my subconscious had a plan, things are aligned. Like alignment's great, but there's that different level.
There
right?
is, yeah.
And it's like,
it's hard to explain too.
Yeah. And it comes over your whole body, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens so quick. You're doing it. Like I've given a speech and just went on a riff and like got off and was like, wow, that felt really good. And my wife was like,
and that's your gift,
I've
bro.
never heard you say that.
That's your gift.
Right? Like, whoa. And then that's where the 30, 40 people lined up. And it's like, you kind of like, what was it? Wow. It kind of feels celebrity status, right? Sure. Then you get to just keep going deeper and deeper. And I think that's the beauty of it is like, well, that had to happen for the people to line up next to the stage to have a conversation with Jeff. And now me and Jeff are best buddies. And Jeff needed me most when he lost all his money in his company and wanted to blow his head off.
Exactly.
And it's like, maybe that's why that came. I have goosebumps even saying it.
Let's go.
Because it's like, maybe that's why that happened in that moment. That's why that story, which I never told, was in me. It's true. It's real. It's authentic energy. But I didn't know it was coming out then, and it came out. And then that happened. And then, when you start to link stuff back, it's crazy, man.
There's no other way to explain it, man.
It's crazy sometimes. So all these things that you've done, the filmmaking, the podcast house, Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Pushing yourself physically, mentally, business-wise. What's something that you would share with someone who's trying to push themselves to the next level, the next unlock, the next step, open the next door?
Yeah.
What's something that you would share with that person that's motivated, trying to become better in their life?
I think it's more of a question for them. I would say, like, what is your dream? And if you don't know what your dream is, how are you going to go seek it? What are your gifts? What are your skills? What can you offer to the world to make the world a better place? How can you impact this world? Ask them all those questions, because I don't have the answer for you. You have the answer for you. What's the will that God has for you, right?
What a great way to put it, man. What a great way to put it. I'm thinking back of like, you're really finding clarity with your soul, right?
So good.
Like,
Yeah.
I think of like a brand, right? You're
Right.
like, okay, what's your core values? What's your why statement? What's your brand promise?
Right.
That's a brand that makes money. You monetize it, great.
Yeah.
And it can be you. It could be a company, right? It can be human, non-human.
And dude, I love your question. What is your wildest dream? Like, I actually used that on my show the other day.
Let's go.
One of my last questions, I'm like, yo, I have to ask that.
Let's go.
Like, and I think that's a great question to ask if they're in that position.
You know what's really cool about it is it tells me a lot about someone and not even what they say. Right. So like when I ask someone, and you were at the Beyond the Table experience, you probably captured and saw different people have different comfortability levels with it. People have different clarity around it. People have different avenues, passions, purpose around that question. And it's really interesting to read the body language. It's interesting to see how clear someone is and how unclear someone can be.
Right.
And that question, they may stumble through it. They may have it at the tip of their tongue. They may have it planned and plotted out. They may have worked through this, and this is the 35th iteration. They may have never thought of it before in their life. Yeah. But all those little key points and factors, just in that one question, tell me so much about the person.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? It's the sigh before they tell you the dream where it's like, oh, wow, that person hasn't really thought about that. Or when they stop for a second and then they speak, it's like, well, that person is going to tell me something they probably don't want to share with me, but they're going to do it anyway. Or they bite their lip and they don't share it.
Yeah, you can also find out who their God is. And God is the thing that you make most supreme in your life, right? So is it money? Is it Jesus? Is it fame, status, ego, that kind of thing? You know?
I asked someone, what's your wildest dream? And they said, opening up the door to my house and there's $1 billion cash in my living room. And I was like, okay, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's how I perceive it. That's cute. Like, that's the wildest dream is luck.
Right.
Right? So I was like, okay, well, I'm not really aligning with that.
Yeah.
But I said, well, like, do you have any other dreams? That person, their second dream was actually what they wished, what they wanted, and who they were.
That's good.
Right? The first one was they didn't want to get there. They didn't want to go 20, 30, 40% more vulnerable. Right? So just that question, me asking the same question twice, told me everything about that person. We actually ended up aligning, deeply aligning.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think the question can tell us the great things about someone, the things that we want to stay away from.
Right.
They can allow us to put up boundaries, break boundaries. They can provide comfort for you to go all in, you to share your dream or not. It's just such a deep question that invokes and builds upon so much.
Yeah.
What's your wildest dream?
Oh, man. I was hoping you wouldn't ask that. No, I actually haven't thought about it much, but I mean, on this earth, my wildest dream is to like find the dream wife, have a couple kids. I mean, dude, you got it going on right here, man. Like, those kids, they change your perspective in life so much. And just like feeling that different love, that deeper love, like I want to experience that for sure. I want to continue what I'm doing with like Podcast House and doing crazy physical challenges like 100-mile ultras. I want to continue to surround myself with amazing people. I do want to live on the water. Like, I don't know. I've always had this vision just like sliding the sliding glass door open and just like ocean. So that comes to mind. But I would say really what I want is like when I get to heaven one day, like, well done, good and faithful servant, you know? So I want to do the will of God. And I don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but wherever he guides me, I just want to go. I just want to be obedient to him.
I love it, man. I love it. It's well thought out, well-rounded too. I think it brings in a lot of what you shared today. I think you're on the path, you're living it, you're doing it. Just one step at a time, right? Like when people say dreams, it's like, oh, I got to go get this right now.
Right.
And one of my good friends, Tammy, she talks about your legacy starts with what you do today. And it's like the same thing with your dreams. It's like, what are we doing today to make that progress, to have that impact, to get closer and closer to it?
Yeah. I would also say I am kind of like already just like traveling the world, like what I do with filmmaking and stuff like that. So continue to do that. Like I love doing that. I love the adventure of life. I love the uncertainty of life. And then like I was telling you, like the event, I want to create one of my own.
Let's go.
Like a transformative event.
Let's go.
Help people find their dream, their purpose, those kinds of things.
Yeah, man. We'll have to talk about that, dude. We'll have to collab, do something together, man.
Let's go, yeah.
It's an event changed my life. That's why I throw conferences. That's why I do virtuals. That's why I speak. And that was why I wrote the book, or writing the book right now. It's why I'm so deep in human connection. It's because someone changed my life. It wasn't something. It wasn't AI. It wasn't a tool. It was someone saying something that they said 5 years ago I listened to on a podcast, and it was the most important relationship.
It was probably God working through them. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was that the most important relationship's the one with yourself. Yeah. And I was having Ellie, who you met, and I started writing down all the things I wanted Ellie to be on my phone. I have it on my phone still. It's called Ellie Will Be Like ... And I got through the list, about 80 items, and I realized I wasn't half of them. And I needed to build back the relationship with myself. Wow. And I've done that, and that's why you see my daughter here. That's why we welcomed you. Like, I want her to meet people and be friendly and to have experiences and to build relationships. Now, of course, she's a little girl. She's not going to be like, hey, what's your dream, Zach? Right? She will probably soon at some point when she understands what that means. Oh, yeah. But, you know, I want to bring her into everything. And if she gets to see me holistically and often in everything I do, then it's me showing her, not telling her. Right. And like, that's what I want. That's what impact is to me. And then I think about these situations of, I took time off when we had our second child. Yeah, I did a TEDx talk and then didn't market myself because I wanted to be home. And I'm not doing as many speaking gigs because my wild important goal this year was to not sleep 20 nights away from my family. Right. Like, I can only do those things so she understands them from my actions. Right. And then same with my future career. If I'm going to get on stages and talk about growing businesses and running two at the same time, I want to talk about having a family and being present and them loving me and me loving them.
Love it, bro.
So to hear you say that and acknowledge what I'm doing right now, I appreciate that.
Of course, bro.
Appreciate that a lot, because that's the perspective. And, you know, sometimes you're in it, right? Like, today was crazy this morning, and we don't know what's going to happen this afternoon. And kids are going all over the place. And
I mean, I think a lot of people are like, oh, I want the sports car. I want, you know, the super hot girl. I want the huge house. I want to be living in Bali, Koba, Hawaii, whatever. And it's not like too much about that for me. Like, those things are cool. If God brings me there, amazing. But it's about the people, bro. It's about the people that are in your life.
I think for me, I had a friend who had all the things and wanted to kill himself. And I had the friend who lost everything. And he said, at least I didn't lose my relationship with myself. And that friend built everything back. That friend is happy. And understanding happiness is a choice, as long as you know where to go and what to do, because you're clear on who you are. Throw it over the shoulder, man. That's that thing called life. That's easy.
And there's nothing wrong with any of those things, like the car, the house, whatever. Like, cool, but don't idolize it. Don't have that thing be the determining factor for your happiness, right? You're putting your faith in that thing.
It's not your identity. Because you can lose it. It's a materialistic. If you lose the relationship with yourself, that'll bring you down a bad path, but you can build it back up, and you don't need anything else external. The car thing is interesting. A friend of mine is a comedian. We were going to do a skit together. His dad owns luxury cars and all that stuff. So we were going to do a whole like play on, you know, all 10 of us pitched in to get the Lambo, you know. and then like walking away feeling
Sure.
miserable about it after taking all these photos online, right?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's the reality. It's like, you still can't
Mhm.
pay your bills. You still can't have a steady relationship.
Yeah.
You still, you know, can't have consistent
And
business
then
or
you're kind of
business
like being a
partners.
fraud, right? And like that kind of does something to your soul. But I've been there before too, so I get it.
And that's the thing. It's like, how can we impact people so they don't continue down the path that we've already gone down that we know is wrong?
Yeah, we share our story, our testimonial.
That's it, man.
You know, we've been there before, and we just carry ourselves in a different way from the world. But it's interesting because you keep mentioning like a relationship with yourself. And I would say to form that relationship with yourself, you have to spend time with yourself. So like one of the things I love to do is like go like to a secluded spot, maybe by the water, maybe in the middle of a field, and just like talk to myself, ask myself the deep questions. And then normally I bring all that to God and I pray to God and like, I don't know, I guess ask him for things, thank him for things, have that gratitude moment. But when I'm in those moments, that's when I have the most clarity. But if you're constantly being distracted by your phone and all these other things and going out and partying, whatever, like you're not going to be able to really know who you are.
You're just putting a mask on every time.
Mm-hmm.
And that mask feels comfortable because you're getting high or getting drunk or everybody else is doing it, or it's the easier way. The tough way is to peel the mask off and have a direct conversation with what's behind the mask.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that hurts, and that's a journey.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's not fun to spend time with yourself when you get to know who you actually are and you look yourself in the mirror and you don't like it. You want to run away from that.
I've been there. I mean, that started the transition. Transformation was I say I don't like what I saw in the mirror.
Yeah.
I don't like looking down on my phone saying Ellie will be like, I want my daughter to be all these things, and I'm not even half of them.
Yeah.
So especially what am I going to do about it? You know,
like your wounds and your trauma, like you want to run away from that stuff instead of deal with it. So like I've seen it, like at these events, I've seen it all. Like I've seen when, you know, someone got raped when they were 5 years old, or maybe they did the raping, or addiction or abusive father, all these things, and people never deal with it. They just bash it down and they never talk about it. And it's going to affect you for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah. You got to feel through it to get to the other side.
Yeah.
And the only way out is through.
Yeah. 100%.
It's just tough to keep going.
Yeah.
Keep taking a chisel off that, mountain.
It's not comfortable, bro. It's not.
No. Thanks for being here today, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. How can someone connect with you or collaborate with you? How can someone find you?
Yeah, so I am Zach Day on Instagram, Zach with an H. DM me there if you want to book a podcast. I have a podcast studio in Franklin, Tennessee. It's like 30 minutes outside of Nashville. We have an amazing podcast studio. I've like literally built my dream podcast studio in my home. You can go to podcasthousefranklin.com and hit us up there.
Boom.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, brother.
Dude, thank you so much. It's been so good.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.